Hello, everyone. Hope y'all are all doing well. I'm going to be pulling up my Excel sheet. So let me get that pulled up and then we'll get going. So for number one, I chose Texas. My mom was born and raised in Texas, and so she kind of made me a Texas girl. So I love Texas, but I just love how big it is. I mean, it's pretty neat that Texas is such a big state. I know some people hate Texas, but it's okay. Um, Texas, I'll zoom in so you can see it, but on the thing, but it says that Texas is the only state to have the same rank in both population and land area. Um, so that's pretty cool that they have that. So I found it. I found the whole zoom where you could see the objects and stuff very interesting. Um, it's just neat to see how it compares to the different objects compared to different things, and that you can click on it and see, the facts about it, and just how it, the smaller things to the bigger things. So, and then also the Earth rotation, that was really neat to me. Who would have ever thought that the Earth is moving that much, or we're moving that much? I mean, obviously I knew the Earth moved, but to think that it moves that much around you, and the speed of us is very interesting. We report things in scientific notation for multiple reasons, but one being is it is impossible to write sometimes such big numbers. And so whether you're adding or subtracting or dividing, it's just so much easier to do it in scientific notation, because sometimes it's just kind of impossible to do the big numbers. So, but anyway, I found this is my first time really using Excel, and so I really enjoyed getting involved in it and creating the graphs, all the different graphs. It was challenging, but I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. So that's what this class is all about, I guess. So moving on to number two, when I first saw this graph, I thought there was a big difference between the unemployment rates between Bush and Clinton. But when you break it down into this graphs, you can see that it really wasn't. It wasn't even 1%. Maybe it was 0.1, but it wasn't even a whole percent difference. And so it's very interesting to see, how misleading it can be. Even on the bowling scores, I mean, they look like they're so far apart, but when you translate it into the right graphs and formulas, you can really see that they're not really that far apart. And so I guess that should teach us a lesson that we just shouldn't take everything at face value, that we should look into it and see. So even down here at the bottom, the different graphs, I enjoyed creating those and seeing how they relate to different things. But there again, we just need to make sure that we're not believing misleading information, because not all the scales are, not all the graphs are scaled the right way. So I thought that was interesting to read more about that and how we can determine whether they're misleading or not, because a lot of times we can look into it. It might be a little bit more work on our part, but we can look into it and see if it's misleading, and then make a correction and fix it. So I think that would be all on number two. So number three, I really loved the Venn diagram, but this was a very big topic to cover. And so it's just unbelievable to think that so many people in the world struggle with this stuff, that so many people, with high blood pressure or with type 2 diabetes are obese. But I just know my dad was very obese, and he had struggled with high blood pressure. But when he did lose weight, he got off all of his blood pressure medicine. So there is, when you do lose weight, you can a lot of times get off medicine. It improves your health. But it was just mind-boggling, really, to see the numbers that this affects. So, yeah, I mean, like, as you can see, type 2 diabetes and obese is 90% of America. So that's just crazy to think that. Just really, really crazy. So, and then Arkansas, I knew it was more one of the unhealthier states, but I didn't know it was ranked in the top 10. It's actually ranked number 7, Colorado being the most healthiest. Arkansas obesity rate is at 35%. So, and then Colorado was at 22.6. So Arkansas, like I said, is number 7, the most on the most unhealthy side of the things. I like to say it's because we eat so well, but we have so many good cooks in Arkansas, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. But we do need to change that because it is affecting how long we live. But no, there's a lot of information in this graph right here. So, okay, moving on to number 4. These plots are very interesting to look at. I really like the box and whisker plot. I found that to be very interesting. But it's interesting to see how the different graphs can portray different facts. So obviously the Army one was because you can't get into the Army until you're 18. So that obviously affects how that is. But in the mall shoppers, babies can even come, and then up to however old you live can come. And so a lot of more people go to the mall at different ages than they are in the Army. And so it was really neat to see how the box and whisker plot showed that more efficiently than the other plot did. And so that was really neat to see that how the different graphs portray different things again. So I think that was all on that. But there is, as you can see, the blue over here and the blue over here is a very big difference. And that is because of the age difference and just the whole dynamic of everything. So moving on to number 5. This one was really interesting to me as well. Seeing how long the people slept. It's crazy to think that some people only sleep 2 hours, but that's between 1 and 3 hours, 2.1% sleep. But also, I can't imagine sleeping 12 hours either. I can't sleep that long. I normally sleep. Now, it all depends on what my work schedule is, my school schedule. But I normally sleep somewhere around 7.5 hours, more about 7.5. But like I said, sometimes I only get 5. That all depends on what my schedule looks like. But that's about the max I can sleep is about 7.5, or my body's going to be waking me up. So it's frustrating sometimes on days that I want to sleep in. I just can't. So I really thought the ball shape curve was very neat, how it's done. And like I said, this was my first time doing this, and so it was very interesting to see how it's all done. And then also like just how the numbers can be figured in. But you cannot do a ball-shaped curve on the household income because of the rise at the end. That it just cannot be done that way. And so that is why we cannot do a ball-shaped curve that way. So then on number 6, it was very, I did not realize that Elon Musk, I guess I just thought because he has so many things, or he's done so many things, that he wouldn't struggle with starting his own business. But I just know from my brother started a small business, and it's just very, people don't think about all the taxes that you have to pay and what it costs to open a business. And I really think that's why a lot of small businesses go down so fast, is because they don't consider that. And so even here, you start off before you even sell. A lot of times your profit is in the negative. Like here, it was negative 12,000. And so a lot of people don't take that in consideration. And so I think that would help if people did that more and they could plan more wisely. But I mean, even Elon Musk, he had trouble with that. And so, as you can see here on the plot, he had to sell up to 220 flamethrowers before he even started making a profit. And so it was around, I think, 203 is when he broke even. But then you have to start making a profit. But I mean, he even made up to 50,000 or 5 million off of this. And so if you can get past the point and break even and start making money, but before then, that's when a lot of the businesses cave because they just don't have the money to do it. I wish more people would think it through before they started their business. But yeah, I thought this was very neat. Around 240 to 260, or somewhere between there, is when he broke 90,000. So it would probably be around 250 or so. But yeah, so I've enjoyed doing this. I can't wait to see all of y'all's, and I hope y'all have a good week.